You're listening to MLVC, the Madonna podcast, your place for all things Madonna Louise, Veronica Ciccone. Hey, everybody, it's Stefan. Today on the show, we are joined, well, you'll know him as Benn Shouts from YouTube. I'm just going to call him Ben. Hopefully he's not going to shout, but welcome to the show, Ben. So nice to have you.
Hello, thank you so much for having me.
You're up early, right? I'm talking to Ben in the future, because Ben, where are you?
I'm in Perth, Western Australia. Well, in Australia.
No, and so it's morning for you, right? It's nighttime
yeah, it
for
is
me.
Morning.
Early for. Are you drinking? Do you drink coffee?
No, I usually drink Red Bull, but
okay.
I'm a Red Bull fanatic. But today I have a sour watermelon Ghost energy drink, which is probably like a wild thing to be first drinking.
Yeah, that's like candy.
Yeah, I liked it when I first had it, and now I'm like, yeah, I kind of shouldn't have bought so many. I've just got to get through them.
Disclaimer, everyone watching or listening, Ghost is not sponsoring this episode, so we wish. If they'd like to sponsor, we're more than happy to drink your candy first thing in the morning. I can't drink energy drinks anymore. I used to have like those like pre-workout drinks before I would go to the gym, and I ended up starting to feel like, I was like, I'm going to have a heart attack, and I don't want to die in a gym because...
Yeah, no, I think I'm just immune to them now. I think I just need them just for the taste. That's what I tell myself.
Your body's just addicted. It's like if you don't wake up and crack that can open, it's like it's over.
Literally.
Okay, so for everyone, if you don't know, Ben does YouTube reactions on his YouTube channel, and some people I think multiple people had sort of thrown you my way and be like, you've got to get him on the show. So I finally was able to make that happen. Ta-da! Yay. Here we are. You don't only watch Madonna, though.
No, Madonna's, I say recent. It's been like, I think 3 years now. No, I do pretty much any type of music. A lot of my favorite stuff to do is indie chicks or like people who aren't super mainstream. I find that's given me like the best music that I've like found ever. But no, I do anything. Madonna has definitely been like one of the best additions to the channel. But yeah, literally any music.
And so how did you, let's go back a little bit. How did you decide to start doing reaction videos?
So I left my full-time job and I went to study at uni. And I was like, well, if I'm just going to be, studying and not working full-time, I should probably just start doing this. I used to watch a lot of reaction videos. Me and my brother love watching people watch Scream, which is my favorite horror franchise. So we've watched a lot of people do that. Yes. I think a lot of gay people love Scream. There's just some like correlation there.
Yeah. Why? I know it's strange. Why is that?
It's definitely Sydney Prescott and Gail Weathers. Like they are Scream for me. Like Sydney is the ultimate final girl. There's no one that beats her. I'm not a Halloween person.
Okay. I am a Michael Myers fan.
I just don't get the franchise. It's just, I try to get into it. It's just so boring.
It's been all over. Well, it's also been like sliding doors. I think that's one thing that I loved is that they sort of continue down one line and then they were like, oh, we can get Jamie Lee. Let's just like retcon everything that happened in the last couple of movies and bring her back. And then they decided we can bring her back again. Let's just retcon the second. And it's kind of crazy.
Wild. I mean, the only thing I wish Scream would do is retcon 5 and 6.
I was just going to ask you. So sorry, people. We'll get to Madonna in just a second, but I very rarely get to talk Scream on my podcast. I love Scream and I love the original trilogy, even 4. But then, 5 and 6, it was kind of like I saw what they were trying to do by moving it into like new territory with like new characters, and because people don't like watching aging people for some reason, so it was like, no, we can't have old Nev Campbell. And but are we excited that Nev is coming back for Scream 7?
Like just getting goosebumps at the thought of it. Like I'm so keen. Kevin Williamson directing, Nev back, Courtney, like back to the feel of it. You got Marco on the score again. They're bringing
a bunch of people back.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. It must be either it's like some sort of like fantasy sequence or like maybe like in a dream or because
or like AI. It's got to be something like futuristic, I reckon.
Right. Oh, that's true. Yeah, they're gonna like Oh, see, I could just start a whole nother podcast about
Oh my
Scream.
god, I'd be on every episode. Yeah, obsessed.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. It's good. It's such a fun to be able to
And
see
I
it.
just yeah, and like Nev Campbell as Sydney, like obviously Sydney is Sydney, but I've always loved Nev, so just having her back at the forefront is just so exciting for like the OG fans for sure.
Yeah. No, I'm excited about it too, just to see what they do.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, and like everything should be good. I'm like, if this flops, then really, I don't know.
Yeah.
Scream just needs to stop.
Yeah. Okay, so you started doing all of these reaction videos because you were like,
Yeah.
why not?
Yeah, I was like, I had done some like maybe like 10 years ago, and I think I just
But
wasn't.
like in the YouTube infancy.
Yeah, like I've been on YouTube a while, like done random videos here and there, and I think it was more like the confidence level, or just not really finding what I was actually passionate about or like cared to do. So I was like, well, I love watching it, so why don't and I love music, so let me just pair them together. And I started doing them, and it picked up a little bit, and then I had a few videos like pop off in terms for me. I hate saying like viral or anything like that because I still think I'm quite a small YouTuber, and I would never really even call
You've got
myself
a humble audience.
Yeah, I've got like some core people that watch, which is really cool. That's the best thing about it. And then I started a Patreon because everyone's like, we want to do specific videos and things like that. And I literally couldn't keep up. The list, I started writing a list of things that people would tell me to get to. And I was just like, I'm just never going to be able to do this. So yeah, I did that thinking, oh yeah, cool. A few people will join and it'd be a great way to make some money. And then quite a few people joined and I was like, okay. And then even now I like sometimes get so far behind trying to keep up with the requests that people want. But then come in Ryan, who is the person who created the Journey, is what I've called it, about 3 years ago. And he was like, "Oh, I'm interested. Like, if you want to do this, I like totally fine if you don't. I want to start you on an album that you generally should like, which was Ray of Light." So that was the first album I reacted to. I'd heard a few of Madonna songs. Obviously, there's no way you can go through life in the world
Totally blind. Yeah.
And obviously I've known her, I was going to say as an older person, which she is, but like all I've known of her is like being the older pop chickadee that everyone has kind of always loved. So I already knew she had that legacy, but I made the amazing thing is to quote her in my first video and saying I don't really like her for what she said about Gaga, which obviously is now forever cemented as my first introduction. I mean, what I said still stood from what I knew with the information that I had. Like the comment was valid, but now obviously that I've gone through things, it's funny to me. I'm like, oh, there's Gaga. Oh, there's Gaga. Like it's funny now in retrospect because I get why people would be annoyed that someone would think that the bad stuff she said about Gaga, but if I was Madonna, I absolutely would have said those same things. And she didn't really say anything that was that bad. She just said it was reductive.
Yeah, and I think she's also she knows how to make good television.
And that's it. It's like
she knows what's gonna pop off, as you will, but they all do. I think that's all part of the game. It's marketing. It's let's create something saucy and make attention and drama.
Yeah, and now knowing again, like watching a lot of her interviews, I'm like, it's actually just funny. Like, of course, she would say something like that because she's obviously over being asked about it, and she's
Totally.
like, "Well, it's reductive. Go next." And like obviously the way she drinks her tea when she does it, it's iconic.
I love that. It's such a good gif. I send that to people all the time, where it's just like her drinking the tea.
Yeah,
She kind of that was a perfect moment, and I don't know if that was like she predetermined that she was going to say that, like if she had come up with it in advance, or like she's quick though. I got to give her that,
Oh, yeah, the quick wit. So that's where it started 3 years ago, and then we went back to the very beginning, which I'm not going to be able to remember the 80s albums because they're not that good. There's some good stuff. I'm definitely like a early 2000, like late 90s, early 2000s. That's where I'm at the moment. So we've gone through, it will be like the album, the music videos, then whatever major like interviews or live performances, then the tour, than anything from that era, and then we finally move on. And I think Ryan's done such a great job at really. Of course, there's so much footage out there. There's so many things that people go, you need to watch this, you need to watch this. But I think he's done such a great job at curating, like giving me such a in-depth look at what was happening at the time, like everything that happened. So as we've gone over the eras, I've just like fallen in love with it. I'm like literally obsessed. Like, and now I go out to my friends. I'm like, no, Madonna did this. Like, I'm quite passionate about it, which is funny. But yeah, it's insane. Yeah, just everything I guess that you can learn about her, but you wouldn't if you didn't spend the time, because it's just there's so much. It's insane how much she has done. And I know I'm obviously speaking to people who are like, they're going to know it all. So I'm just like, everyone's just like, we know all this. But I think coming from a place where obviously I'm a huge Gaga fan, I still love Gaga because obviously I grew up with her. So I guess in that sense, she was my Madonna. So then going back and realizing, I guess the time, like, you know, early 80s and things like that, it's like, that's insane that the stuff she was doing, like people still would be too scared to do today, if not more so. And it's just, and her age always blows my mind because like even in Confessions, I was like, oh, she's like, I think I was saying she was like early 30s, but like she's like late 30s or in her 40s or something. I was just like,
yeah, she's like, 40, like I think 42. I'm going to get crucified for not knowing her age, but yeah, but you're right. Cause I forget how old she is too. Like every time I turn every time I have a birthday, I'll like Madonna at age 50. And I'm like, oh God, I'm like, that's what she was doing at 50. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy to think that like, how impressive her stamina is.
Yeah, and I think even now to reflect it on pop stars now, it's like, I guess like one of the oldest pop stars is probably Taylor Swift, you know, and she's like, what, 34, 35, and it's like, it's crazy that she's already getting called old. And I'm like, well, Madonna was like doing some of her peak stuff in her early 40s, which is like, again, like we comment on age, obviously, because that's just how we are as a society, but it's just wild to think that we think, oh, that's so wild that she's doing that at 40. It's like, well, why is that wild? Like 40 isn't a death sentence. But like you automatically think, and then it becomes so much more impressive because you're like, wow, she was a 40-year-old female doing this stuff and not caring, it's insane.
Yeah, I think as I've gotten older, Madonna has helped me in that way because I'm like, oh, if Madonna can do that at 50, you know, that Madonna's she doesn't care how old she is, you know. I'm like, yeah, so society says we need to just, as we get old, just like stop living life and just lay down and die. But yeah, it's so I'm sad that you don't enjoy early Madonna as much, because it's funny that like quite the reverse with like some, I mean, not speaking for myself, but like there are a lot of long-term Madonna fans who are very the opposite, where because that was the first time they heard Madonna, they were very into her 80s music, maybe early 90s as well. And then as her albums kept going, they fell off a little bit, less and less. So yeah, it's interesting to hear you say that you love her more recent stuff.
Yeah, and I say recent, I'm still 20 years ago.
Oh, that's true. Yes.
So
you've only gotten up to Confessions, right?
Yeah, so I'm only at the Confessions. I've only just listened to that album, so I haven't seen the music videos. I haven't seen the damn tour that I've been told I need to watch. Yes, I will obviously be watching
right
the tour.
Away. I was almost going to say, let's just like consume this podcast and you can start watching it now. But
yeah, but I don't know.
Because you're in for a treat. You're in for a treat.
Yes. I know everyone says it's the best one ever. So I am super excited, but I also think the 80s stuff is very dated sound. And because I think I listen to so much music, there's so many people doing the 80s sound. I'm actually just, the minute I hear it, I'm just like, oh, I just don't care. Like this era just needs to like stop. I'm like, it's like however long ago now, what, 50? Nearly 50 years ago, which is insane. Like, I mean, I love Like a Prayer. Like, obviously epic, yeah, like just like a prayer. I do get confused with the albums but there's a handful of cool songs, but I think really because of the music I listen to, like Erotica was obviously epic, Music was epic, Bedtime Stories, American Life was my favorite album. I think I probably would still call it my favorite album. Confessions has obviously rivaled that, but I don't know if that's again, like I listen to like experimental pop and stuff, so it's very much now oh my god, like this is like the vibe. So I don't know if that really influences what I like more, I suppose.
What are you listening to? Like, what's some of the current music you're listening to right now?
Oh God, like Audrey Hope, she's nothing like Madonna actually, but like, like I would say I called it as that Confessions was Madonna's Brat, which people were kind of like, no, they're nothing like. I'm like, they kind of are because I feel like Confessions was quite like out there, different. It was a whole statement. It's still quite experimental, I think. It's not classic pop. It obviously had samples. She did weird stuff. So I'm like, for me, that was kind of like, it's such a standout album for Madonna.
Wouldn't you think that Music, the album, would be more her Brat album than just because
Yeah, I
like
get that.
stylistically, in terms of
Mm,
like listening to what Charlie did with Brat and like
mm,
how it's kind of like vocodery and skittish and
yeah,
like I was like everything is romantic, like how like the structure of that song is very similar to like not similar but like the music album sort of harkens to that type of style. I even think I feel like you said that during the review of the music album. You were like, "Oh, this is Charlie.
oh, maybe.
Charlie's doing this."
I do get confused with the albums. But however, I think Confessions maybe. I think Music walks to Confessions could then run. Like Confessions is so polished and it's such a like it's so cohesive. It's just so perfectly done. And maybe I don't know. Yeah, I mean, music is quite experimental as well. But I think that's why I'm drawn to those albums more because they've got the lyrics are still there. I mean, I love New York. I could not believe people were like, nah, I just can't stand the lyrics. I'm like, it's actually funny. Like this is the point of the song.
Right.
Like it's not meant to be a deep meaning. I'm like, but it's fucking funny. I'm like,
Yeah.
so I think for that, like that song, I think like that's so Charlie for me. I'm like, you could see Charlie or Addison Rae doing that stuff now because it's just so like tongue in cheek and funny. So yeah, I think
Well,
that's
pop. It's meant to be like it's meant to
yeah,
just be straight up pop. You know, like I
yeah.
always equate when Madonna does those like quote unquote cheesy pop songs. I always think it's like that's her Spice Girls moment. You know, like
Yeah.
because the Spice Girls were always doing sort of saccharine sweet ish type pop music, and Madonna she does artful, but then every now and again she'll just take you for a spin around the like super pop moment, and then
Yeah.
then you can go back to serious. So
Yeah, but even in that, it's like I love New York. The production's so strong. It's
yeah,
like you couldn't even call it. That's what I mean. It's not even nothing about it is a simple pop song. Like you can have the elements, but I'm like the production's like some of the strongest on the album.
yeah, her and Stewart work well together.
Oh my god! Like and I yeah. So this Confessions Part Two.
Oh,
It's got
that
a
was
lot to
I was gonna get to that. I was gonna get to that. Hold on. Slow your roll. Slow your roll. um, okay, so wait. So let's just establish. So you were aware of Madonna before you started reviewing her, right? Like
Yeah.
it's not like you had gone in and you were like, I have never heard this woman at all.
No, yeah. So I'd heard a couple of songs, or like I've known a song until it plays, just because I don't know the name or things like that. Or
Mhm.
I've known maybe like the chorus. So then it's still you got that familiarity, but then you can actually go in with the song and really like
Right.
read the lyrics and that kind of stuff. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
definitely had some knowledge of it for sure.
Are you finding it enjoyable being able to get all of this thrown at you so quickly? You know, the thing I've loved about being a Madonna fan is you sort of like the waiting, even though it's excruciating sometimes, we get to like go back and re-listen to an album and let that sink in, and then you sort of like the waiting is what sort of prepares you for the next. And I think I had seen when you were reviewing the music album, you were it was like someone pulled the rug out from underneath you because you had just come off of Ray of Light. And the pivot that she does from Ray of Light to music is a very stark contrast. And I felt like it sort of took you a little bit to get your footing on that album because you were still stuck in Ray of Light land.
Yeah, I think yes, it's in some aspects for sure. It's like you trying to keep up with it, and then in some aspects, I think it's weird because I haven't really gone back to the earlier albums. Like it's really been music, American Life, and Confessions that I've listened to the most. There's one else in there, Bedtime Stories. I think that I like that one too. Bad Photo though, girl. She's done some interesting album covers, but that's just
You don't like the upside down bed photo?
No, once I knew that, and I look, I'm like, it just looks weird now. It's just, I'm
Oh, I
like,
love that smoky eye. And see, the thing I love, I guess, as a Madonna fan, one of the things that I've always appreciated is that she does do these sharp pivots, and
yeah,
it so that it's like you're getting something completely different and something new, and like, not, and she's fully commits to the era. I mean, obviously, you know this because you're a Gaga fan, but it's like Madonna created that, you know, like
yeah.
that's where the whole pivot from like she's a whole different person now. Madonna was the one starting that. You're like, I always loved like growing up and seeing her do this. Like some people didn't even know it was her from album to album because it was such a, the music didn't sound the same. And, you know,
Mm.
like obviously for her earlier albums, they all sounded kind of 80s ish, but then the production, like by the time she got to Like a Prayer, it sort of like took on a whole nother sound. And then erotica, just it was like, now we're in the dance floor. And it was always just fun to sort of, what's she gonna do next? What's the sound gonna be? What's the look gonna be? So yeah, I mean that's one thing that I always appreciate. So
No, yeah, and like it is obviously cool. I think it's hard now as well because I'm looking everything I look at with her is from a 2025 lens. So
yeah,
it's everything is so polished now and things like that. So, any flaws and that maybe get highlighted, but the way you've explained it, like that makes more sense. And I always forget when I go into something, I've got to remember that I'm not in 2025
yeah,
because I'll say things and then people write in the comments. I'm like, yeah, like that makes sense now in
yeah,
retrospect, but in the split second that I'm reacting or thinking,
sure.
it's yeah.
Well,
What were
it's
we talking about?
contextual. You know,
Exactly.
that's the thing. I think music is so it where you're at as a person and what's going on in your life and what's going on in the world at the time when you're hearing new music. It's not the same as going back and visiting old music because that's sort of something from the past. It's like those things have, if they're talking about certain subjects and certain topics, maybe it, or the sounds have progressed, you know, like things can sound dated. However, and I will challenge you with this on Madonna's previous albums, go back and listen to some of the earlier albums, and I love being able to sort of hear the little sparks. It's like the little embers of what comes down the pike. You know, I think one of my favorite songs of hers from the '80s that sort of embodies like where she goes with a lot of her styles is, so there's a track called Can't Stop on the Who's That Girl soundtrack, and if you listen to that, it's like she's got vocoder, she's got whispering, she's got like there's all these elements that it's like, oh, she does the vocoder on music. It's like, oh, she's whispering there, or you know, like it's just fun to sort of see the like where those elements began and sort of how they
Yeah.
like grew up and became something more or became a staple of her.
Yeah, I definitely need to go back and give those albums the moment. And I think that's because it was just so early on.
Yeah.
Now that I really am, I'd say Madonna, I reckon a bit of a stand. I definitely would stand for her. I
Nice.
think, yeah, I should definitely would go back and listen to them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so um, I want to talk. Let's talk about music because the album is turning 25,
I'm
which
just
is
going to bring it up so I know the title, the track listing, because there's so,
music makes the
what,
people.
no offense, but that song are way overdone. It is a cool song. I have watched that many performances of that song. I'm like, we get it. Do you want to boogie woogie?
Yeah,
We know. We get it.
that was a banger when it came out, though, Ben. I mean,
No, I know, and it is still a banger. But I think like when you're watching, like sometimes I'm like, oh my god, the same bloody song that she's performing. Like I've heard this so many times now. Move on. Give me something different.
hey, those deep knee squats are impressive, though.
Yeah, that is
Come
insane.
on.
Insane.
You know,
Yeah.
the fact that she saved, because you've seen Drown World Tour, the fact that she saved those deep knee squats for the end of the tour.
Psycho.
Come on, that's okay. So I gotta say I enjoyed watching you enjoy the music album. Yeah, you were sort of slagging off the music song. You were like, eh. This isn't because as soon as Impressive Vincent came on, then you were sort of on board because you were thinking it was going to be country. People, I don't want.
Why did everyone say that?
I don't want to ruin it for everybody. If you want to go watch Ben's, but yeah, Ben, you were very disappointed that you were expecting it was to be her country. It was like kind of like that was the look, but there was some country elements in the.
I was expecting like a Joanne because I was like, okay, this is like her country. That's why Gaga's done it. So
it's not. No, it wasn't Joanne. It wasn't. It wasn't Golden from Kylie. Like she didn't.
Oh yeah.
But fun. Like it's fun to sort of see that like, oh, Gaga, Kylie, Beyonce, they've all had a country moment now. It's like, where did that come from, girls?
Low key hate Beyonce, but that's just another conversation.
It's okay. This isn't a Beyonce podcast, so
this album is actually epic. See, I do this American. They all blend in because they are quite similar sound. Because she's obviously doing all the weird stuff. But this album was my favorite for a long time. Like, Don't Tell Me. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm. So
yeah, this album's epic.
Are you able to appreciate the pivots that she's doing because they're coming so quickly? I don't know.
Yeah, I think like when I have to go back, I have to like I said, I have to bring it up and actually look at it because it kind of like takes me back to it. But American Life, I think, was like probably the most like crazy pivot for me. I think because I'd already heard Ray of Light, so I knew that was coming. So when we did the re-listen of it, obviously I've done that. I mean, Erotica was a huge, big pit, obviously. I think I was just like, what is going on? I can't even believe she's saying like finger licking and all this stuff. I was like,
right.
So you definitely do at the time. I think like, look, it's when I'm trying to like think back to moments, they start to blend, and unless I know exactly what we're talking about per se. So yes and no, I guess, is the answer.
Mm-hmm. Well, so I'll refresh your memory. You didn't love you didn't love Runaway Lover that much. You thought that was one of the weakest tracks on the album, which again, many people do not care for Runaway Lover that much. But I would say one of the things I love about Runaway Lover, and if you ever want to go back and listen to this, listen for this, is how beautifully William Orbit produces her vocals. So Mirwais on the music album and American Life album, he produces her really great, but William Orbit has a way of making her vocals sound just like so overly gorgeous. And that's one of the things that I love about Runaway Lover is how just like amazing her vocals sound on that. There's like a fullness, it's a roundness almost on the vocals, whereas Mirwais intentionally is trying to like almost make it a little bit like flatter and to sort of match with his production of like those little beeps and whirls and let's talk about Confessions.
Girl.
So, spoiler alert, Ben shed a tear listening to Sorry for the first time.
I'm getting chill. How is that song even a thing? And why has no one talk about it?
Right.
I don't know if they do. I'm like, how is this even a thing?
Well, like, how is that not like one of her staple big songs? Like why is that not as big as like a prayer? You know?
Dare I? Oh. No. I don't know. but Sorry,
I don't want to hear.
But Hung Up is
obviously
it's probably. I get it. It was the number 1 in 40 countries. Like I get it was the biggest thing, but I'm like, you've got Jump, Sorry, like they are better than Hung Up.
I think obviously, as the albums are coming out, the record labels are like, we need a lead single. And I mean, I've always appreciated that Hung Up is a deceptive lead single because it doesn't allude to what's coming down the pike with the rest of the album. And because then you go into those synths from Get Together and you start being transported to another. And then by the time you get to Sorry, it's like Throwdown, you know, she's like pushing you down a flight of stairs, and yeah, it's good. It's that whole album is such wonderful music, and the production that her and Stewart came up with is great. As you know, there is a sequel to Confessions on a Dance Floor being worked on between her and Stewart. What do you think that means in the Madonna world? Like, I mean, I'm curious as to what she means. I'm curious what you think she might do with that.
I think it's probably going to be the scariest album that she'll ever put out if they're coining it as Confessions 2, knowing, I guess, the impact this album had and, you know, sales-wise and things like that. So it's very bold of her to be like, this is Confessions 2, and we're working with the same producer. And I guess, like, even with what music is out now, I'm like, what's she going to be able to do that is so different? Because it has to be, right? It has to be groundbreaking to really stand out, knowing, because when was their last album, like in terms of like real world now, not 20 years ago?
So 2019.
Okay, so yeah, so like definitely some time. So it's like she's been out of the game, although like it's funny to say that because obviously there's been so many big pop stars come out in that time, but that doesn't really matter if you've got a good album. So I don't know what it means. I think it's going to be good for fans because doesn't she kind of go a bit odd in the last few albums? Like I think she gets a bit weird.
Depends on what you would reference as weird.
Because I do know she has a song. She has the "Bitch I'm Madonna" song. Is it with Nicki Minaj?
Yes.
Which is, but it's hard to say that's weird and wild because I'm like, well, what hasn't she done that's not weird? So
I think she experiments a lot on some of the latter albums. There are some that fans responded to really well, some that were commercially accepted, some that weren't. I have a soft spot for some of the latter albums because of what was happening in life, for the style of music and the producers that she's working with. But I don't know. It's what are you reviewing next? What's next in your? Is it Hard Candy? It's Hard Candy, right?
Well, before I get there, obviously I've just got to do all of Confessions era.
You still have to wrap up Confessions. I see.
Well, and I've only just started it, so who knows when I'll get to the next album. So that's what I mean. Like, it can feel really quick, but then I'm like, sometimes I'm spending months and months on just one era. So
yeah.
I guess in that sense,
don't rush through Confessions because that's probably one of her. Some might argue that that's one of her last great eras. However, I will say there are brilliance in each of the eras that come after Confessions. It's just, I think a lot of the disappointment came from the stylistic switches and people necessarily, Confessions was such a big moment for her. And then she, again, switched it up so much. And people, I think a lot of people didn't want to go on that journey with her because they were still hung up. You like that? They were still hung up on Confessions. They just didn't want to let it go. And I know. I'm curious as well as to what's coming because you're correct. To make that bold of a statement that it's a sequel to Confessions, it brings with it some lofty expectations, and people are going to walk into this. I'm expecting there to be a single with a sample, who like with Hung Up, are we going to get something similar to that? Like, obviously I don't think it's going to be ABBA, but maybe it will be something from the 80s, a sample from the 90s even, what music is she going to be paying homage to? Because that's so much of what Confessions was all about, paying homage to some of the great dance, Kruder and Dorfmeister and, some of the 70s music and disco, but not disco. Like, I remember you referencing, you're like, this doesn't sound like disco to me. But that's what I thought was so brilliant about it, was it's like she's giving disco vibes, but it's not like Bee Gees, it's not, Gloria Gaynor. It's not Donna Summer. It's sort of like Madonna's version of disco. It's like almost like future disco, but not.
Yeah, no, I think it has those I call anything that's weird experimental because I'm like, I don't know how else to label it, but it's got those, like you said, the disco elements, but then it's got all this weird stuff happening that it like almost softens it, because I'm not a biggest fan of disco. Again, like the 80s, I'm just like, ugh, they've been done to dead, they're done to death. So I think that's what I liked. I'm like, is this
Ben,
disco?
as someone who's wearing a mullet, I find it very strange that you would not enjoy the 80s.
Is it from the 80s, the mullet?
I definitely saw 80s mullets growing up for sure.
I'm going more of a 50s mullet, I think. No, I'm not. I'm just
No. No.
but I think, yeah, I think that's what's the best part about Confessions, is that there's just so many different elements to it, and I think it really averts, like, your expectation is just, you can't expect what's going to come, because
we don't know what's in her brain. She's,
no.
But
And
you're
I think,
correct.
like,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, yeah, with Confessions 2, it's also then, is it going to be a solo album? Is she going to bring people in? Like, I guess, how is she going to do it commercially? Because obviously they're going to want it to be successful, or does she not care about that? Like, she's got millions. It's not like she actually needs to keep making them, or she doesn't need a number one. So it's, I guess, what's the angle there as well? Because that may dictate how it's created, because there's just so many, I guess, different elements now in like 2025 that you have to do, I suppose, as an artist. So it's whether or not what pool she has still.
Well, and you raise a really great point, because I think that's one of the things that people love the most about Confessions, is that was the last album she did that didn't have any collaborations. So keep in mind, after Confessions wraps, every album after that was very heavy with collaborations. There's not one album that doesn't have collaborations, if not multiple collaborations throughout the entire album. And I think that's one of the things I'll be very curious to see as well, because will her record label, whoever she's signed with for this upcoming album, will they allow that? Will they allow it to just be Madonna? Because as we know, the music industry is not what it was 20, 30 years ago. And for her to just go out with just herself, I don't know why that people don't see that as marketable, but like, as a quote unquote aging pop star, would she be successful doing that? And yeah, fine. Maybe she doesn't need the money, but obviously everyone putting out an album is still going to want it to be good. The record company is still going to want it to sell. She's got to make money off of it. If it's a flop, she's not going to want those headlines, like flop Donna, it's just, they just don't want that. So I'm curious to see how it will be marketed, what type of promo she's going to be doing, what the sound's going to be like. There's just so many unknowns at this point.
Yeah. So is there any idea of when it's coming out, or is it just kind of,
so the 20th anniversary of Confessions is this November, and I think we were all rooting for it to come out. I don't know if it's ready. I would assume if the album was going to be coming out in November in honor of the 20th anniversary, we would already be getting a first single within, if not now, within the next couple of weeks. And we have heard nothing about that. Now, not saying that she couldn't surprise us next week, with a first single, but maybe instead of the album, we'll get a first single in November, just as in honor of the anniversary, and then the album comes next year. I've heard rumors that it's going to be attached to the Devil Wears Prada 2 movie that's coming out next year.
Oh, because that's got one of them in there.
It has Jump in on the soundtrack. And so the fact that they both are doing a sequel to something that was out 20 years ago, it's kind of like symbiotic that well, why wouldn't she be on the soundtrack? And so we'll see. I don't know. I mean, it'd be weird if she didn't put anything out for the 20th anniversary, especially since it's supposed to be a sequel to that record. But as we said, it's got to make money. So if they've got it wrapped up in Devil Wears Prada, then we won't see it until next year. But trust me, Ben, I want it to come out as soon as possible. She's been making us wait far too long. It's been 6 years since her last album. I'm like, any day now, Madonna.
Whereas me, I'm like, no, wait, let me catch up first. I don't want a new album yet. It's going to ruin my chronological order.
Would you jump ahead?
Yeah, I'd have to. I could not wait. That's ridiculous. And I wouldn't want it to be spoiled. I wouldn't want to hear it.
Right.
I want to be able to experience,
Oh, I honestly, I fear when, if she was to do a surprise album drop, I'd be like so screwed whenever, like if it was to happen at midnight one night, like I don't know, I'd have to call out of work because I would have to immediately start doing, because I've not been able to do, I didn't start doing anything YouTube-ish for her last album, so I haven't had that like experience of like listening to a new album and doing a reaction video, and I'm so excited to finally be able to do it. And I'm like, it's going to happen at like the worst time. It'll be like super busy at work, and I'll be like up till 3:00 in the morning recording, like listening to songs and this and that, and then I'll be like, but it'll be worth it.
Yes, no, absolutely. Everything drops. You got to.
You have to, right? Because I like even the first song, like I'm gonna have to, like wherever I'm at, I'm just gonna be like, man, I have to do a reaction video right now.
But that's where it's the hard part. Is that you just have to go in expecting nothing, because I think everyone's expectations are gonna be so high. So I think that's what's also scary for the listener too. It's like, are we all gonna love it as much, you know? And the comparisons are obviously gonna come because it's gonna share this. I don't know what it's called, but just it being called Confessions 2, you're already giving it confessions. So it's like it's wild. It's a like I said, it's a very brave thing for an artist to do, I think, to say like, this is a sequel to one of my biggest albums. And it's like, well, sequels are genuinely not good. So,
but I trust in Madonna in the fact that like she knows what that entails. Like she knows the expectations that are being put on that, and to be that ballsy to, I think it's smart from a marketing and business perspective to associate like the brand association. People love the Confessions era, and to suddenly put it in that world again, people are like, they know she's not fucking around. And like if it wasn't associated with Confessions, I would even be worried. I'd be like, is it going to be good? But she's working with Stewart again. She's calling it Confessions. And that just makes my mind spiral in terms of like, I don't know what she's doing, but I'm liking the idea. Like just that concept of the fact that she's never sort of repeated herself quite this way. To allay fears, she did Music, the album, and then back to back worked with Mirwais again and did American Life. And I remember when American Life came out, I was slightly disappointed because I felt like, oh, she's repeating herself. Why would she do that? Like, she usually doesn't repeat herself quite this way. Completely two different albums, obviously. Sonically, they still sort of float in the same world because Mirwais' production is there. But I appreciate both albums as completely different projects. And maybe that's the closest we can get to sort of saying, okay, well, she worked with Stewart on this, and maybe they'll whip up some brilliance again,
Yeah, and I think like such a good point. It's like, I mean, what does she have? Ray of Light, Music, American Life. Is Bedtime Stories in there somewhere?
Bedtime Stories comes before Ray of Light.
Okay, cool. But that's what I mean. So you've got Ray of Light, Music, American Life, then Confessions. That's 4 in a row. Like that's 4 albums that are, still quite different. So I think it's you naturally have that doubt. But then I'm like, well, why are we doubting someone who literally did 4 albums that are, groundbreaking?
So as you'll learn going forward, once she gets past Confessions,
right,
that's when her track record starts to get a little up and down. And again, like Hard Candy, I'm not going to bias you on this, but that was one of those where I was like, I didn't love it when it came out. But through this podcast, we did an anniversary of that album, and I had to, leading up to the recording, I was like listening to it over and over and over again, and I was like, oh, this song, this album rocks. Like this is there are some bops, like it's some great music. So I think that's a lot of music is expectations, like she raises the bar so high, and it sort of works against her sometimes because people are expecting it to be one thing and then it's not, and they're disappointed. So
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think, like you said, she's literally her own worst enemy in that sense. Because even in my journey, I've gone, there's no like American Life. I was like, there's nothing that will beat this album for me. Like this is my favorite, and it probably still is. But then when you go into Confessions, you're like, oh my god, like
Yeah.
how you
Yeah,
just
the way you felt about Sorry was the way I felt about Get Together. And
yeah.
I, when she said Confessions 2, my first thought went to, if she can deliver another song as amazing as Get Together, then it's worth the wait for me.
Yeah, and that's it. Even if you just get that one song from, if like you just had to choose one song and it's like that song, I'm like, that's fine. I can deal with it. You know, the album not being as great if you just get one song that just really gets to you. Yeah, Sorry is definitely one of her best songs of all time.
Yeah, that's
Oh my God.
a friend of mine, her and I used to run around New York after we'd have too many drinks, and we would just like, because of what she would do in the confession store, my friend and I would always run up to poles and start gyrating against them and be like, I don't want to hear. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, oh, the
Love it.
2000s.
Oh, those times.
So I wanted to ask you about, let's talk about her concert tours for a second. So you've seen have you seen all the, like, Virgin
I
Tour, Who's That Girl,
yes, I've
Blonde
seen
Ambition?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We're fast forwarding because I loved that you weren't vibing on Drown World Tour when it started, because you were very disappointed that she came out to Drown World, a slow song. And,
Yes.
but see, and not that I'm trying to tell you how you need to feel, but I loved that she came out to a slow song because it was subverting your expectations. You know, everyone expected her to come out to this big bombastic song. And here she is just floating out on a little cloud of smoke. And she starts singing, I traded fame for love. And it's like this super slow song. And I just love that she's connecting with the audience, because we hadn't seen her on tour in like 8 years between
Yeah.
tours. And so for her to come out, and it's like, you're just so happy to see her there. And it was just her standing there by herself. You could take it in, just like enjoy. And then she tumbles down the rabbit hole, and then it's like all hell breaks loose, and it's like
Yeah.
impressive instant. And I love that you were like, what is it with these costumes, these outfits? They don't mesh with the vibe. And I'm just like, I loved Drown World Tour so much that it
So is
was.
that the one that was not filmed properly, or is that the most recent one that I've watched? Like there wasn't an official recording of it. It kind
Oh,
of
that's Reinvention Tour.
right. Yeah. Okay.
Reinvention. Yeah. So, and the reason I'm bringing up the tour films is because you were mentioning this while watching Drown World Tour, and I was like, I'm right there with you, Ben. You kept saying, what is it with these overlays? I just want to see her perform. And I was like, I'm like, Ben, I don't want to ruin
I know
this,
people
but
have.
buckle up, because if you think the overlays in Drown World Tour were bad, you haven't seen anything yet.
But I'm just like, why?
Yeah,
It's
I know.
so like I guess I get it technically to make it more enjoyable on DVD, but I'm like, but yeah, that's probably the worst part of it, to be honest, because I'm like, I don't need all that. If I want to watch a music video, I go and watch a music video. And I
Yeah.
suppose the Reinvention Tour, the best way I like when she did American Life, and like it had elements of it. I'm like, this is probably the best version I've seen where it feels like a music video in her live performance, and then you've got the background imaging. So I think that was
Mm-hmm.
like the best balance for me. But anytime like random stuff just starts popping up, I'm like, I'm not here. I'm actually here to watch the concert. Like,
Yeah. And that is a major complaint that many Madonna fans have is specifically me. I just want to see what she's doing, you know?
yeah,
Don't cut to the audience. Don't give me these
yeah.
sped up fast overlays and graphics and this that. Like, I just want to see what she's doing, you know?
Yeah. I think that was cool on the Reinvention Tour when because I watched it. It was not the professional footage. However it was captured, and I guess that's where I was like, oh, this isn't as grand. Which obviously, because it's not produced, the way it should have been visualized. And then when I saw some of the songs on the documentary,
I'm going to tell you a secret.
Yes, thank you. I was like, wow, like you definitely can see it, but I kind of almost preferred the first recording watch because it was like a bit rawer and a bit like gritty. Like, I just liked that you didn't see the extravagance of the stage. So I guess you lost that sense. So once I saw that, I was like, whoa, epic. But like just being closer to her was really cool.
Reinvention tour, I think there's like somebody must have like recorded the screens in the venue at one of the shows, and like that's what we get to see, like, everyone, all the camera guys that are recording for the people with the cheap seats in the back on the screens. Somebody must have recorded just the screen, so like we actually have a full like view of that tour, because she's never released a full tour version. We only got, but I will say the tour footage I'm going to tell you a secret that she has for Nobody Knows Me, that was filmed so brilliantly, because I felt like Jonas, the director, he sort of gave, I think it was Jonas. People, if you're watching this and it's not Jonas, forgive. I'm pretty sure. I thought it was Jonas. But like it honors her performance as opposed to like taking away from it. Confessions, in my mind, is the last great tour film of hers before they just completely fell off the rails. But Confessions, there are some overlays and they do some but it's not distracting to me. Okay. Like some of it, it's like, to me, it's the last like faithfully filmed tour film. So just manage your expectations on that.
Well, everyone says the best thing since sliced bread, so I'm like, this bloody tour, I better blow it away, otherwise.
It's a great show. I will say, it's her dancing is phenomenal in that.
Yeah.
And that's not even like peak dancing for her, because Sticky and Sweet, the tour that comes after Confessions, she's even more athletic in that. And it's like, how is that possible? It's mind-boggling.
I know she inspires you, but then I'm like, I'm not going to do it, but I wish I like you inspire me to want to be like this.
Yeah. I know.
But also, I'm not going to do
it. Tell me your vitamin regimen and I'll start doing that. But I'm certainly I'm not training for this,
God, no, I would love to be that athletic, but no, I did not want to commit to that type of regime.
No, well, I can't. It's like, I've got a full-time job. I can't. It's,
yeah, I don't have a nanny and a lawyer and
Well, tell us. So you've got Confessions music videos and then tour. Is that I guess
music
interviews,
videos, and then I think some interviews, and I think some other like little performances that
promo performances, because there was a bunch for Confessions.
Yeah, so all of that stuff, and then we always end with the tour, which is cool. I like it's like a nice wrap up of it all. And then whatever, Hard Candy you said's next, so that album will be next. But yeah, so definitely just in the start of Confessions, which is very exciting. But that album, honestly, because when I do like a top 10 of the year of albums, I only do the ones that are released in 2025. So Madonna, unfortunately, never makes my list in that sense.
Well, they will soon. It will soon.
Exactly.
Maybe next end of your 2026 wrap up, you'll get to include Confessions too.
Absolutely, but I think even in this year, in like Apple Replay, like she'll be in the top 10 of like artists, just because like Confessions is the album I've probably listened to the most.
Yeah.
Since like out of any reaction, like it's the one that I just have to keep listening to.
Well, that's good. It's a good album. So
yeah, and I've because when I reacted to it, I didn't have the full transition version, because it's just like it's so like, yes, I understood that, which I then read a million times. I'm like, we get it, I know. So now I've listened to that, which is obviously epic. So I'm just like, why is that not on streaming? I'm like, it just that stuff's annoying. Where I'm like, that's the art of it. So that's where it's like, the transitions are obviously epic. Now that I've heard the real ones, because I was like, oh, these aren't that great. I don't know why everyone's banging on about these transitions. I'm like, okay. But now that I've heard the one piece, I'm like, like how it just amplifies it even more. So it's kind of criminal that it's nowhere really accessible for new fans, I suppose.
Yeah, I know. I think I have it on CD, but I don't think it's. I don't even have a CD player, so I can't play CDs anymore.
Yeah,
It's like
so I'm wondering if it even got ripped to computer, like is it just one big long song
no,
or
it still was divided.
yeah.
It's still divided up into tracks, but the CD would just play it straight through. But
Yeah.
you could skip ahead if you wanted to.
Yes, I'm like, why can't that can just be put on streaming, right? I don't get.
Exactly. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
so strange. Yeah, her online streaming catalog is a mess. Um well, that's exciting. I'm excited to see
yes,
upcoming because you haven't even watched the videos. Oh man.
I know, and it's Sorry is a single, right? Or it got a music
Oh
video,
yeah.
but I'm like,
Hung up.
man,
Sorry. Get Together. You'll probably be a little disappointed with Get Together because it is a video, but they use like promo tour footage to sort of
right.
like animate it. You'll see. You'll
But
see.
then what was it?
I
Music
love
that,
it.
but one of them, I think it was either music or robot. The music.
Jump gets one.
Okay, but are they actually good? Because like the last era, I swear just had really.
Hung Up and Sorry are great.
Okay, cool.
You probably won't like Get Together, even though I do. And then Jump is fun, but just remember she was on tour while she created that, so it's
Right.
not as epic as maybe Hung Up and
But I feel we've had, that one she's just in that flower dress on a green screen, whatever song
Love
that was.
Profusion. Yeah.
I was like, that era was flop with music videos. So I'm like, if they're better than that, we're getting somewhere.
Yes. Yeah. It's yeah. I think yes. Jump is better maybe than Love Profusion.
Okay. I feel
Ish.
Love Profusion's like sleep paralysis. I can still literally picture that video and it's one of the worst, but I remember it so well.
What she lacked maybe in music videos for Confessions, she makes up for in the tour.
I love you've always got a spin. There's nothing negative about Madonna that we can't put a positive ray of light on.
Yeah. Well, I would never overly. I mean, I could pick apart some things, sure, but but nothing. Yeah. My complaint is that we didn't get more music videos for Confessions. Like why
Yeah.
wasn't Confessions an entire like music video? Like she could have just released a little Confessions movie. Like that's
Could
what
you imagine?
Yes,
Oh
I dream of these things, Ben. That's
well, now with AI, you should just create it yourself. You should make your own bloody.
yeah, that's
little
true.
movie.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Maybe that's the plan for the upcoming album.
Oh, put it out there into the world. Positive.
Come on, Madonna. Come on. Don't let us down. All right, Ben, I know you've got a busy day ahead of you in the future.
Yes.
So we're going to wrap up. But before I let you go, there's a little segment on the show that we like to call the lightning round. These answers are meant to be quick off the top of your head. And don't worry, it's wherever you're at in your Madonna journey right now. So I understand you don't have any knowledge past Confessions. That's fine. So just quick off the top of your head, favorite Madonna song?
Sorry.
Favorite Madonna album?
American Life.
Favorite Madonna music video?
Like a Prayer.
Oh. Favorite Madonna tour?
The one where she does the church scene for Like a Prayer.
Blind Ambition.
Thanks.
I like playing that game where it's like the fewest words possible, and it's like, do you understand? Favorite Madonna? Have you seen any Madonna movies?
Yes, I've seen.
I mean, obviously, I'm going to tell you a secret, but
yeah, I've seen the baseball one, Out of My League.
A League of Their Own.
Yeah. The hotel one.
4 Rooms.
The Evita, obviously.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Come on.
I think maybe just those 3.
Oh, well, you've got a journey ahead of you for that. Then I will challenge you to watch some Madonna movies as well. What's been your favorite Madonna movie so far?
I guess you'd say Evita, but that's like how could you not really? It's probably the only. Although I did like the hotel one. She was a bit weird in that.
She's weird. A witch. I mean, come on, Madonna's a witch. Why not?
But no, yeah, definitely Evita.
Okay, you need to watch some other Madonna movies because there's a
But
boatload of. There are some brilliant Madonna movies out there. Some people might not agree with me, but Desperately Seeking Susan.
from Desperate Housewives?
So
Susan?
good. Desperate. It's a perfect 80s movie. It's a perfect New York movie. No, but not cheesy 80s. So cool. The fashion is cool. There's a couple mullets in the background. You'll see. You'll appreciate it.
Okay.
I'm telling you, it's really, really good.
Oh,
Favorite.
sorry. I've seen the one where she has that baby with the dude. And she got the bad English accent.
The next best thing.
Is the gay best friend or something?
Yes, the next best
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
That wasn't good, was it? I don't think so.
No, it was not. There are some moments. We got a great soundtrack off of it, you know. But yeah, not one of her finest movies. Favorite Madonna look, and this can be from a tour, a music video,
Oh my God. I
photo
think
shoot.
no, maybe it is reinvention too. Like her hair's so good.
Yeah,
I think like I was like obsessed with her hair in that tour.
yeah.
And she actually just looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd say I don't know if that's recent biasy, but I'd say, I mean, I love her with dark hair as well. Like I love the Like a Prayer, like which is in front of the burning cross. Like that is like just like burned into my brain. So I love that.
So rock star. I mean, it's so
Yeah.
ballsy to do any of that type of like.
Yeah, and she's like in that satin dress, isn't it? Like the like
It's like
slip
a
dress?
slip. Yeah,
Yeah, like that's definitely very iconic. I love that.
yeah. There's so many different Madonna looks that I could just like
Yeah.
trip out over. Are you? So you saw Blind Ambition tour. Are you ponytail Madonna or are you curls Madonna?
Nah, I think I like straighter hair, as I say, with curly hair. But I like.
Yeah, I was gonna say, coming from somebody who has curly hair,
No, I'm not like. I don't know. I think I like it
you
just
didn't
normal.
like the ponytail.
Nah, and I know that's what she gets referenced a lot. I'm just like,
Well, I
yeah,
mean, that was
like,
just so bold and iconic. I think that's why.
is it?
That was a look. That was a look.
No, yeah, I think maybe because that's like, as soon as it becomes too overdone, I'm like move on. Yeah, I think I just like a normal. I think Reinvention Tour is my favorite hair on her.
Okay. Well, you've got some other. There's so many other tours left for you and eras for you to experience. So I'll be curious to see. Well, we'll catch up again and we'll check in and see how your Madonna feelings change and evolve over time. So
Yeah, no, I need to do research for these things, like because you do it. I'm like, everything blends in.
have you seen the Sex Book?
Yes.
Okay. What did you
Iconic.
think of the Sex Book?
So good, so cool.
Well, because
Like-
I think you mentioned at the top of the show how like Madonna's doing things that like pop stars even today, like back Madonna was doing things in the past that like pop stars even today wouldn't do. And I'm like, no one. Can you see Demi
God.
Lovato doing a Sex Book or like
No offense, but I could because she's a bit try hard, so I could see her doing it just to.
I mean, I think like the only person that could like possibly ever be ballsy enough to do something like that would be like a Kim Petras. Like
yeah.
I could see her sort of maybe pushing the envelope that way, but
But no one really mainstream. Like
correct.
you're not going to see.
But that's
you're
what
not
I
gonna
mean.
see-
Like
yeah.
Taylor Swift isn't going to get her kid off, full tit minge, go off, and like no one's going to look at that.
No, I think maybe like Charlie or Addison probably at a push just because, but they're not that sexual, I suppose. Like they are, but they're not. It's like it's such a
Well,
different.
that would be so alienating for their brands.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
Charlie is sexy, but she's still safe. She's
Yep.
not in your face about it. And yeah, I mean, Taylor Swift, obviously, she's like Disney, like there's no way she would ever do anything like that because
No, like even Sabrina Carpenter, while she's very sexual in her lyrics and like she obviously looks incredible, there's just no way she would either. It's just
no, because she's still like she needs those like young girls and their moms to go to her shows and buy the merch because she's safe. That was the thing.
Yeah.
Like Madonna, when Erotica came out, well, I mean, Justify My Love, fuck it, even like a prayer. Like that's when she stopped being safe pop. Well, just not even like a virgin. I mean, like a virgin, Papa don't preach. Like there was always this level of like, watch out because Madonna's gonna do something you're not gonna like, and it just kept coming. You know, like just when she, you know, then she'd be like, oh, True Blue, oh, that's cute, Madonna, and then I was like, I'm in front of burning crosses, and people were like, you know, like it was threatening and scary, and yeah, Sex Book, it just became too much. So between that, Body of Evidence, that was the movie that came around the same time, so it was Erotica, Sex Book, and Body of Evidence. You should watch Body of Evidence. It's a romp.
Okay.
She looks young and beautiful, and you get to see all of it on display. So it's, yeah.
She was loving herself in that era. Like, I mean, good on her. Jesus.
Right? I don't think I was ever that proud of my body.
No, absolutely not. Insane. That's it's like, even just when you think about this chick doing that, you're like, how, like, just like, what obviously you want it, but I'm like, what possessed you to do this? And you just thought you could do it, and then you could just then still keep your career going. It's just wild.
And she did.
I know, and that's what I mean. And then everything that came after it is arguably bigger than Erotica. And yeah,
right. It's like everyone sort of counts her out. Well, it's over. Sorry, Madonna's done. And then she's like, nope, sorry, I'm back. You know, and it's like she does something even amazing. You know, it's
And that's that tenacity and drive is so inspiring, because she's like, no, I'll decide when I'm done. Like, no one's going to tell me when I'm over. I can have a flop album and like it's still millions of record sales is her flop, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
But I think her tenacity and drive, you're just like, you're not normal. Like, this is just not, it's not normal, you know?
Well, that's what I loved about Reinvention Tour was, so she basically puts out American Life. American Life doesn't really do very well, and the critics sort of were okay with it, but like sales wise, radio wise, it was just like down the tubes. And then she's like, fine, I'm going to do an amazing tour. And it's sort of like her first like greatest hits tour. And, but yet she still plays the American Life album through it. And it kicks ass. And she's amazing in that. Like it's
that escalator, like, or travelator, whatever it is. I'm like, I've never seen that in any live performance. I'm like, and I don't think have anyone else done it since. It's like, I can't believe no other pop stars are like even just using it as an idea. I'm like, how are you not utilizing this piece of equipment? And it's just so visually incredible. You're like, what?
Next time you're in an airport.
Yeah, literally.
That's what I used to think of. Anytime a Madonna fan is in an airport and they see that, everyone wants to reenact Nobody Knows Me, because
well, normally it's like Twilight, like the vampires coming in, but now that I see it, I'm like, no, that's Madonna's Travelator
now. Ben, tell everybody where they can find you on social.
I'm on YouTube, Benn Shouts, Ben with 2 N's. If you're wanting me on Instagram, it's Gripping. I didn't do too well with my branding.
Yeah, you need to switch that. I know. I was
I can't get rid of Gripping. It's too sentimental now.
Let's start a Ben Shouts channel just for shits and giggles.
No, I do have a Ben Shouts Instagram, but it just says go follow Gripping. So so I'm just two different entities, you know. It's
when you start building up even more, you know, like when you blow up, and
yes, Gripping's my Veronica Electronica, you know. That's just like that type of vibe.
Okay.
I haven't heard the album though, so but I just know the name.
You're not missing much.
Oh,
I mean, maybe for you it will be new. For me, it was old. You know, like it was like, I've heard it all before. But it's for you it'd probably be interesting to hear, because like again, I lived through the era, so for me, I'm like, well, these songs are 25 years old. Like, I've heard these already. You know, like this was all remixes that existed. So for me, it wasn't anything new. But and I guess also to me, it was like, Madonna, I just want the new album. You know, like I don't want something from 25 years ago. I just want the new, you know. I've gotten to the impatient part. You know, it's like it's been almost 7 years, Madonna. Can we please hurry this along?
However, if you're lucky you're not a Rihanna fan, because I think she's going like over 10 years now.
Janet Jackson, Sade, like all of them. I'm like, ladies, this is just not fair.
So, well, yeah. I mean, 7 years. It's still long. It's a very long time to not have music.
Yeah. Well,
It's
also
insane.
just because Madonna got us accustomed to not waiting that long. Like,
Yeah.
it was like, I mean, Madonna in like the 80s and 90s, it was like workhorse. Like we would just got like song, like album after album after a constant. We just got used to it. And then
Yeah.
then she's, she had kids and she's running an empire. And so she started slowing down. But I know I'm like, the moment she finishes this new album, she just needs to start working on the next one because I just can't,
Literally.
I can't wait another 7 years,
But it might be her last album ever. Oh.
Oh, how dare you? How
Just in
how
terms of
very dare you?
in terms of like creativeness, maybe she's like, nah, like I'm happy with this one.
I mean,
Just
look,
do
it
my
could
life.
be. She doesn't owe us anything.
No,
She could just say, "I'm packing it in, kids. This is it. Enjoy."
because how old is she now?
67.
That's insane that she's even no. I hate that we do that though, but it is insane like that she's gonna put out an album at 67 as like a female pop star, right?
Yeah, but I mean, like, look, Stevie Nicks is still doing music. Chrissy Hynde is still
Yeah,
doing music. Like, there's still like
yeah.
Blondie's
It's
coming out with a new album. I mean, there's still people doing it.
Yeah, I suppose I think it's in the pop realm. I think that's because like when you think of Stevie Nicks, I'm like, oh, that suits her. Like she's just some old nutty witch like still banging on.
Yeah. She's
Whereas
lighting
like
incense and sort of banging
yeah,
chimes and like
yeah, I'm like
whirling
that works for
around.
her.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so I think definitely it just still has that stigma when it's like pop is I hate that when people just call it pop because I'm like pop is some of like the most meaningful like heartbreaking stuff.
Yeah.
And so I think that's just that correlation. I'm like, I can't believe she's still doing, but yeah, like you just said, those people are doing it in the same age or like similar age group. So I think it's just the expectation or just the image that we have of pop stars. It changes it, but I'm like, well, she's not really a pop star. I wouldn't call Madonna a pop star.
No, she's surpassed that, I think, a long time
Yeah.
ago. It's more like,
Although I'm so annoyed, like Taylor Swift, good on her. She's so great, but I think she's going to overtake her on like most records sold.
I
So
know.
Madonna, I'm like, no.
Well, and that's also, I mean, I've said that on the show already, is that's another reason why Madonna should not release her album this fall, is
Yeah.
because Taylor Swift's album's coming out. Madonna will not
Yeah.
have a chance to chart at any time around that album. Taylor will just own the charts for weeks
Yeah.
on end. And it's just like,
Yeah.
I love Madonna, and even if it was great music, she just doesn't hold us a chance against the Swifties, unfortunately.
No. That's the thing. It's like that's just realistic. It's like, Madonna obviously still has fans, but her core base fans are, a lot older now. They don't consume the music the same way. They're not as, I suppose, passionate about buying every vinyl that's released.
Well, I don't think some of the record labels would have the faith to put money in those vinyls. Like Taylor, they know people are going to buy them, but like with Madonna, they might be worried, oh, she's not going to sell, so we're not going to put it. We're not even going to make that as an offer. So it's like they'll do maybe like a limited run of Confessions too, but they probably wouldn't do like 4 or 5 different versions of it because you're right. I mean, like Madonna fans are older. Like the kids are the ones running out, Mom, buy me the record. Who knows? Who knows? I just want a good T-shirt.
Yeah, I need a Madonna T-shirt actually. I don't have one.
Hello, come on.
I didn't even know her middle name was Louise Veronica.
Madonna Louise Veronica Ciccone. It's the name. It's the name of the podcast, Ben.
Oh my god, MLVC stuff.
Oh my god,
I'm quite
getting
slow
that
on
now.
I'm dead.
Remember, everybody, you can find us on all social platforms at MLVC Podcast. You can donate to the podcast on Venmo at MLVC Podcast, or click that like button on our YouTube channel. You can donate via Super Thanks. If you've not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, tick that subscribe button so you never miss a video. Go subscribe to Ben's channel. Watch a bunch of his Madonna videos because you'll laugh, you'll cry. It'll be a cathartic experience as Ben navigates you through. I mean, I will say, you did bring me joy to sort of like watch you enjoy hearing some of these songs that like I've heard so much over the last 20, 25, 30 years. And you're like loving it. And I was like, it just reminds me of like my experience when I got to hear that music for the very first time.
Yeah.
It's like I haven't had that experience in so long. So like it was hyping me up for like what's to come. And I was like, I'll get that back. And honestly, that's, I mean, the one thing that like one day, hopefully years and years from now, when Madonna's no longer with us on this world, that is the one thing I'll be most sad about, is knowing that like we'll never get a new Madonna album again. So I hope this isn't her last Madonna album that she wants to put out. Like, I hope maybe, I'm not saying it has to be like big and bombastic. Like it could be quieter and simpler, but I'd love to see what she does in her 70s. Like that would be fantastic to hear Madonna put a record out at 75, you know?
Oh yeah, and I think just for people to be able to have like you said with your core memories of it, like the best part of what I do is reading everyone's, like, I love people like leave essay comments, and I'm like, I like eat it all up. They tell me exactly where they were, and like that's what I love the most, is you get that connection. So it's almost like I'm living in that time period because I get to hear all about it. So I think it's just so exciting for people who have matured with their music and things like that. So now they've got a different life experience now. So I think like being able to attach new memories to her music, I think that's always, you know, just so exciting.
Yeah, because you're getting the music after it's come out. So for you, there's not like a lamp post to sort of like anchor you to it. You know, like that's why exactly you will have to skip ahead when her new record comes out, because you will have to live that moment while she's doing it, like what she's doing, the promo, just to have that experience. Because if you've never had it, you owe it to yourself now that you know who she is.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I'm very keen.
It's fun. Okay, we'll stay there. We're gonna chat real quick after we hang up. But until next time, everybody, I don't want to hear. I don't want to know. Please don't say you're sorry. Hang on.